There are people out there making millions of dollars, not even owning real estate, but actually just running Airbnb and short term rental management. I'm going to show you what to look for, how to buy it, how to style it, how much money you should be spending, and what return you should expect on today's episode. Welcome to the show. Today's topic, short-term rentals, one of my favorites. So I actually own a short-term rental, short-term rental company, but I have a few short-term rentals myself. We also manage short-term rentals. So I am very in tune with what works, how to make it work, how much it's going to cost, and I want to share all with that with you today. So let's start off with what kind of properties do well, what rents the most. I do have some insight, just knowing that we look at all of this on a regular basis. Smaller places, one bedrooms, two bedrooms, they are key. Reason being, for example, in a city like San Diego, people come to San Diego on a whim, maybe from Arizona, Nevada, maybe LA, they come down. We get people that flock here. If it's on a last minute trip, it's very rare that you're going to probably find four people on a Wednesday to rent out a four-bedroom place, or eight people on a Wednesday, whatever, to rent out for a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Those types of places, four-bedroom home with a pool, yes, the price point, much higher. Cost per night, much higher. But the problem is the occupancy is much lower. You can make a ton of money off of them. There is a definite market for short-term rentals in that luxury, big house mansion, 10 bedrooms, but it's just not our cup of tea because we go for the one bedrooms, maybe the two bedrooms. That is where you can have the layups all day long. We're finding on slow months, which your January and February will be your slowest months typically, we're getting around 87% to 92% occupancy. How we're doing this? When we go to style a place, so if it is a one bedroom, you for sure need a pull-out couch. People search for Airbnbs and short-term rentals by the occupancy of how many people you can sleep. If you have a pull-out couch, you now not only can sleep two, but you can sleep four. It ups your occupancy. It ups your pricing. It ups everything. So you always want to have that pull-out couch. A couple other amenities that really knock it out of the park, hot tubs. Yes, it may seem like, oh, I don't know if I want to have a hot tub in the backyard because of noise, whatever the situation is, but trust me, it definitely helps out with occupancy. When we do this, also talking about the noise aspect, if you are in a neighborhood, be respectful to the neighbors. It's key to communicate to those clients, noise violations, etc., quiet hours. There are programs that can actually not listen in, but it monitors volume level. So if you have one of these systems outside of your house, it'll notify your property management team or your property manager, whoever's running it, or maybe yourself if you're first starting out, and it'll notify you that the noise levels are too high. Then you can call the clients, hey, just FYI, I had a complaint. Please turn it down. We're not in this to get a whole bunch of angry neighbors because they will go to the city. You'll have issues. It's just not fun. On that level, you're going to want to make sure when you style these places, you don't want to spend, thousands of dollars doing it. So it's key. I actually included a Amazon shopping list. It's below in the link, but it's a shopping list of all the things that I buy for Airbnbs. You can get absolutely everything off of there. Kitchen supplies, bikes, couches. You can get everything on there. Another site that I love is Living Spaces. You can get warranties there. So if maybe it's the wear and tear warranty, so if something breaks, you can have it replaced. And then just anything online, overstock.com. But you want stuff that pops. Wallpaper does the trick. So wallpaper is an easy fix, costs very little money, and you can change up the style frequently. I think it's important to make sure that your stuff is fresh, that you're on top of it. If you hire a designer, they're fantastic, but they're going to probably want to put in, a $4,000 couch that's white, and you're going to have an issue. It's going to have a stain. What do you do when you have people checking in and checking out right at the same time? You want to get stuff that's durable, that'll last, and also it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. On that aspect, one of the things you're always going to get message is that, hey, can I get an early check-in? Or, hey, can we get a late checkout? Well, if everyone's asking for a late checkout and an early check-in, how do your cleaners get in there and systematize and make sure that everything's done right if they're shortening their 4-hour span to only a 2-hour span? Make sure you monitor that because if you wear and tear on your cleaners, they're going to not want to work for you. So Make sure you monitor how many people you're letting in early. Communicate that with the cleaners appropriately if they maybe have two checkouts, if you have multiple units and they got to clean both in 4 hours. Really pay attention to those schedules. When you have those cleaners come in, it's important to have backups as well and to have a system in place. We use HostAway for our website. It allows us to make sure that everything is at a standard process, that we always have that utmost level of excellence, because we want to make sure our clients come in, the users come in, they're going to want to make sure the place is just like a hotel. They don't want to find hair or something not cleaned. Everything that they do as the cleaner, they have to take a picture. So if they make the bed and it's done, they upload a photo. It notifies our property manager, hey, that task was done. That task was done. Every house has a custom program task list, not only on HostAway, but we also have a checklist that is going to be laminated and in the storage room for the place. Reason being we do that is, say that you need a backup cleaner and that first cleaner, maybe they're sick, something happened. Your backup cleaner list, if they have never been there before, how are they going to know exactly what to do? Yeah, they can do the basics, but if you have a complicated house, or maybe you have, like I said, a hot tub, you're going to have to figure that out for them. So make sure you go and monitor all of that. Um, Document it. The more documentation, the better. As for what to buy, you can either buy or you can do Airbnb arbitrage. Airbnb arbitrage is when you go and you speak with the landlord, you get them to rent it to you for a certain amount, maybe $3,000 for a 2-bedroom. Now you're going to rent it for hopefully more than 3,000, and then you keep the profit. So that's always a win. If you go in, you just want to make sure you run the numbers. How do you know what you're going to get? It's all about analyzing the data. So you can go in, check out online. It's AirDNA. You can check out, it's the Rentalizer tab. It's on the bottom left-hand side. Type in how many bedrooms, how many people it sleeps, etc. It'll calculate some data. The thing about it, though, you have to realize there's seasonality in a lot of markets. So pay attention to that. So if you're quoting what you think you're going to make, and maybe you're entering in, it's a summer month or maybe it's winter, whatever's the strong suit of where you're at, that's going to drastically impact your overall annual fees of what you're going to earn for your income. So focus on that. We're going to go on the next thing that you're going to want to go for is that if you do buy something, make sure that that's in, with the interest rates the way they are right now, make sure that what that rentalizer says can cover it. And also, don't just trust the rentalizer. You're going to want to go on to Zillow. You're going to want to go online, see what your worst case scenario, like, hey, if I can't rent this out on Airbnb because maybe I lose my permit, how much can I rent it out on just regular long-term rental? Or can I do a travel nurse? Or can I do something that's like a midterm rental, maybe 6 months? Find out all those options, because you can have plan A lined up and it's so amazing, and all of a sudden Airbnb gets cut, or you lose your permit, or whatever happens, you get too many complaints. That stuff does happen. And you always have to have that in place. And if those options, they're not going to be as profitable, those don't cover your bases, especially if you own the place, don't do it. When you are looking at those numbers, also check Airbnbs and check in, because people will always ask me, well, how much do you charge per night? Well, is there a festival going on? Is it a Saturday? Is it a Tuesday? What do you mean? I don't get that question, because there's not a per night. I can tell you on average per year what it's going to make, and I can tell you about seasonality in my marketplace and this and that. February and January are the slowest months, but a per night, that's not really a thing that you can really just say, oh yeah, $120 a night, because it doesn't matter. It matters. I mean, is it for tonight? Sure, we can look. Cool thing is that you should use some price adjustments. There's some ones that do it automatic for you. It's called Price Labs. That's what we use. But the one that, if you're doing it and you're just having one place, you may not want to pay for the software. You just go in and kind of estimate it yourself. As for which sites you go on, like I said earlier, we're on HostAway. HostAway is a platform for our property manager and our owners to view statements, to look at everything online. Now, what you can do is HostAway also puts it out on multiple different sites. As we know, people go to Booking.com, Expedia, Airbnb being the most popular, VRBO. There's a ton of different sites. And how do you manage all of that? Well, HostAway syncs all of your calendars, and they actually talk to each other. So someone can't be booking on Booking.com and on VRBO and then get one booked up and then it's available and they book up. No, there's no cross bookings. It makes sure everything is in sync, which is great for you. If you don't want to spend money on that, you can just go on one site. The one site I'm going to highly suggest, because it's probably about 95% of our bookings, is Airbnb. Now, if you don't have very many properties, do that there first, build up that revenue, and then I would suggest investing in something like HostAway, because as clients get built up and your reputation builds, some people are going to book directly through you. Now, if you're only on Airbnb, you're not going to have your own website for them to book. Hostaway allows you to have your own website. So that's where you can get that user and repeat business or referrals. That way they're coming to you and booking directly through you, which saves you tons of money. It doesn't only save you a ton of money, it also saves the client. I think it's like 14% maybe on the client side and 3% on the owner side. That's a huge difference in pricing that you have to upcharge. And that also eliminates some competition. When you can really get something discounted, clients may book you more. So, and repeat clients, they're amazing. They don't ask as many questions. They obviously know the space. They're coming back for a reason. So, that right there is going to be a huge win for you once you get a few properties underneath your belt. Now, if you're looking to help with clients, maybe you're a real estate agent and you want to help clients find these properties, just check the local laws. It's up to the cities in our market. It's not up to the county. Just because it's legal over there doesn't mean it's legal over there. There's laws that are constantly changing. As an expert, you need to read up on this. You need to be in tune with what's happening in your local market. Check what works for the clients. And always, like I said, have a plan B in place for them. Help them do with the shopping lists. Like I said, my Airbnb link, my Amazon stuff, all that's down below so you can check us out. The website that we do through Hostaway, our company for it is called 31 Beaches because there are 31 beaches in San Diego. So we call it 31beaches.com. That's our property management site for all of our short-term rentals. Everything can be booked through there. There's lots of reference points on there as well for you. So check it out. If you have anyone in San Diego, you can always DM me. We can shoot you a discount code. And who doesn't love San Diego, especially in the winter when we're still in the sunshine? Even though this year it's been a little cold, but for the most part, it's one of the best places year round, which also helps us with our short-term rental seasonality. So that's all I have it for this. If you want to go with it, it's a ton of money. It's a lot of work. It pays well, but it's a lot of work, just so you're aware. Lots of random messages constantly. But if you build it, you can hire someone and then you can then hire another person. You can grow it. It creates this empire that's manageable. And if you're a real estate agent, it's a great retention method because you're not having to refer that client out. So check us out online, either Porchlight Realty, obviously in San Diego, and then 31 Beaches, which we manage a bunch of properties all over the county. And then if you're interested in the real estate stuff, markpattisonrealestate.com. And thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you learned a little bit about Airbnbs and short-term rentals and excited to see what you put together. All right, chat soon, guys.